Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today I got a second video using the Field Notes kit. I'm going to use up most of the rest of the kit. If you saw my video yesterday, then you would have seen the layout that I did using a portion of the kit, which is shown right here. And now I'm going to take it and use it in what is more literal to me, what it's uh, really shaped as. So I just took the pages that I printed and cutted them so that I had the basically like the book pages, and I scored them down the middle. And what I'm going to do is try and kind of measure it to put 3 holes in. I want to wind up sewing uh, all of these together to create one book. And you can separate it, you can make it multiple journals, little smaller journals. It doesn't all have to be done into one. This is just what I wanted to do with it, because my idea is to make it not only a journal using the pages that were printed out, but on the back side, since I have, this nice white paper, I can use it for other things as well. So that's why I have it put together in a certain way. So that way I can stamp in it, I can draw or, mess around. It's an all around journal. So it can be almost like a mixed media journal, because the paper I printed on is thicker than your regular printer paper. And I'm just using my little mat from my Misty to line up my pages, and then I'm using the holes from the previous page to line up and try and get my holes as even as possible for, when you go to actually sew it all together, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to use some twine and use it. It's over on my right hand side over by my mouse right there. It's kind of like in a pile. That's what I'm going to be using to sew it together. And I'm just trying to make sure, I'm like, okay, so everything is lining up. I'm not too far off on my pages. So I'm going to keep going. So when you're one of the best benefits about, digital kits, and I've said it before, is that you can always print out more. It's like a never ending supply. You know what I mean? So if you had a page, let's say one of the pages that I used on my layout kit, right? I could have reprinted it and used it to put into this mini book that I'm trying to create, if I just had to have that page. Just because I used it already doesn't mean I can't get it again, because it's digital. So it's really worth looking into, because you get you get a lot of bang for your buck, because like I said, even though you've printed it once and used it, you can print it infinite amount of times and keep using it, different projects, all different kinds of ways. All right. And then I believe that is the last piece. Yes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get one of those thick needles where it's not really pointy on the end. And I got it threaded. I didn't put that on the camera because I'm going to tell you, it was boring trying to get that threaded. Excuse me. So I put these pins in because I wanted to kind of line up my holes and have them hold, kind of still. And then I took it out only because it was kind of thick, obviously trying to go through all those pages, and it was fighting me. So I didn't want to stab myself with the pins that were just in it. And I'm trying to like push it through. And eventually it does just fight me too much, so I have to kind of pull it towards me. That's the only thing about when you're recording. It's like sometimes, you just need to bring it to you. And I'm trying to remember, oh no, I gotta keep my hands under the camera as well, so it makes for an interesting situation. Alright, so I decided to come from the inside out, and then I'm going to go in. Sorry about that. Whenever I'm working on something, I like to have like the pictures of stuff on my computer, and if it goes to sleep or if it's not doing something, sometimes I have to move my mouse to be able to see it. Alright. So now I was going up in the wrong spot. I wanted to go into the top part of the actual book. And this is probably like just a quick, easy, here, let me put this together so that way I can keep it all neatly, you know, in one spot. It doesn't have to be complicated with getting the chipboard and creating a spine, which you can make it that way if that's the way that you want to do it. But this was just a simpler, kind of just a quicker way for me to get this put together. It'll fit in my purse, and as I'm walking around, if I have ideas for my videos or, you know, stuff that I want to just jot down, I can pull it out and, you know, do that. And then I'm going back in to the same hole, so it's gonna take a little bit, and I just use the pliers to help me pull it up. And then I'm just flipping through the pages, so it is working. And then I'm just gonna tie a knot. And once the knot is tight, I'm gonna trim down my edges, my little strings. And then this piece I was thinking about putting in here, almost like the travel journals, but I do make a mistake, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what the mistake is. So when I decided to put my holes, oh, I'm showing you my travels book that I was thinking about. See how it just slips on the inside, and then that's the way that it's held in. So like you could put different books and things like that. Like even this, I could just put right in there, and then that's an added note area that I can keep in my Prima journal. Well, with using the field notes, you know, she had this nice like what front and back cover that works great as, you know, it's already kind of designed to be the cover for your journal. So I was like, you know what, let me stick with that, even though that's good to know that since I messed up, if I needed to, I could take it out and put it into my other journal. And here's my mistake. So with using the thinner paper, I wanted to come down for my holes so that way the paper doesn't tear, which makes complete sense. The only problem is that it's too short. So I wasn't thinking about how wide my papers are, like I guess it would be the length. And so when I'm doing my holes here, making them all nice and neat and finding the center, doing all this great stuff here, I'm actually doing it all for naught because it's not going to fit. But what is the saying? When you're given lemons make lemonade. We're gonna make some lemonade, okay? So I'm gonna thread my needle again and create my little system. And what I figured was, instead of doing like the one pass, that I would do it twice, so that way there would be two strings on the inside to handle the weight of the journal pages. So this is the part I'm talking about. Like, it's really like watching paint dry trying to get that needle in. All right, so I'm going to do the same method that I did with the book, going down, then up, then down, and then I'm going to go all the way back to the top and then all the way back down. So there's the 2 pages in the inside, and then I'm going to tie a knot. And it was really a good idea had I shortened my pages. And they would have fit. See? Didn't plan. I'm like, wait. I'm like, I didn't. This is me pulling it to myself going, are you serious right now? Did I really do that? And then realizing, yeah, it's not going to work. No matter how you fold that page, it's not going to fit. Breaking my heart. And I'm like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Because it can still fit in here. So I'm just going to loop some more string around the center piece that I created and my actual journal page. And I'm going to create 3 sections of knots in the center and then up at the top as well. And we just made lemonade. You're welcome. Because ultimately, this is for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to give it to anybody. I'm not trying to sell it or do anything. Like, this is literally a book that I'm making for myself so that I can make notes, do what I want to do inside of it. So I'm just going to put it together to make it work for myself. So it's together. Okay. So I made my 3 knots and it's all in my book here. So I'm just going to put something on it real fast because the thickness on the inside, it does want to kind of hold itself open, but that's okay. So I'm going to go through here and some of the butterflies I'm going to fussy cut. I'm doing that next. And then I'm going to cut out a few other strips. And that's a cool part too, is like, you know, these are basically like little ephemera pieces. And you can fussy cut out the whole square. You can fussy cut just the butterfly itself out, which is what I did on my layout. And it's not that weird of a shape. It doesn't take that long. And yes, I did speed up my video, only because I'm not the greatest fussy cutter. So, you know, you don't need to be sitting here watching for hours, me trying to cut out these little shapes. All right. So I'm going to do one more. And then there's some down there that have the flowers. I think on one of the sections there's more like buggies, like the dragonfly and look like a beetle, I think. And on this one, I'm going to cut out this fragile, handle with care. And then there's another one that says, hold on, I got it right here. Special handling. I'm going to cut that out and put that on the back side with my other butterflies. So I'm going to do that one right there. I like the red with the red. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe I could put some stuff on the inside. Well, there was another page that had smaller printouts. So yeah, you can see it right there. I do pull it in a little bit. So I'm cutting these out. I'm going to put one on the front side. And then the other one, it says dictionary. I'm going to put that one on the back side. Just something to put on the inside flaps. And then okay, so then that's that. And I was going to cut out, I think, more of the pieces, but I decided what I wanted to do was show you that you could also obviously stamp on your journal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start inking up some of the edges and putting this all together. So I'm going to ink around some of the edges of the stuff that I cut, of the paper itself, because there was some white that, you know, when I cut it out, it wasn't perfectly straight because the book is kind of like distressed. So to kind of tone down those whites, I'm going to use some vintage photo, okay? And I'm going to put this together, let some music go, and then I'll come back in a few moments. So now all the stamping is done. So I figured I'd do a zoom in here and try and do a little flip through real quick. Okay, so here's the front. I did the stamp of the flower and put to do. And then I did all butterflies. I said flowers, butterflies on this front part, the front section. So on the white pages, I put butterflies in different sections. And then on the back half, I did the flowers on the white pages in different spots. Okay. And on the back, I put the word grateful. And then, of course, you have the butterflies and things down at the other end on the back side. Okay, and then I added this string, and I think what I'm going to do is make it super long so I can just twist it a bunch of times, and I'll show you in the final photos, so that way you guys don't have to see me doing all that, which is here. It's all wrapped up, and it seems a bit crazy because it's a lot to wrap around, but it really does help hold it together. And then here are some stills of the close-ups on the different pages. And I like how it turned out. So I really do think it'll be helpful, especially at certain times. My Prima one is so big, sometimes it's just too clunky in my purse, whereas this can fit. I have a pocket in my purse where this will fit perfectly. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And down in the more section, I will have links to the other videos from the design team that came out yesterday. Make sure you please check them out. And go over to the Crafters Castle blog. They have a challenge every month. It's open to everybody, international, US, and any skill level. So come on in, join in the fun, and craft and create with us. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.